Hi guys, well welcome back to Allotment Diggers. I've just poured myself a cup of coffee. It's absolute brass monkey weather. It's that cold that thermostat up there stopped working. It was -5, -6 last night on here, and it's put a note to what we was going to be doing today, unfortunately. However, we've got a few videos to show you. However, before I do all that, I was nominated off Sean's Kitchen Gardens. He nominated me for this 3 things I've learned challenge this year, basically. And well, to be quite honest with you, the 3 things I've learned basically, the first one would be organisation. Early on in the year, I let the ball drop, and it got tough for a few months. And what it was, I got what was it? I'd say I lost the mojo to do anything. Now I had everything planned, however I didn't carry it out, and it was to move the blue shed to across the plot into its new base, and it was on one of the beds. It was stopping me from planting everything. I couldn't get the garlic in, I couldn't get anything in until I'd moved it. I couldn't take the shed around. It was pointless dismantling it, because if I dismantled it I'd ruin the shed. So I had all my mates there to give me a hand. All I had to do was just clip my fingers and they'd be there. That's the sort of buddies I've got. I mean, everybody helps everybody on here. So all it was getting me mojo back and getting on with it, and I left it until I couldn't leave it no more. So next year will be none of that. It'll be, I make the decision, I'll do it straight away. I'm having problems saying words here because my nose is all blocked up. When you try to say decision with a blocked up nose, it's quite difficult. So I hope you're all excused. Again, I've got another chest infection. I just cut my hair cut, and I can tell you it's bloody cold. So that's the first one. The second one, we might as well say this now. The main lesson I've learned this year is I keep getting chest infections, and for the last 12 months I think I've had eight months of chest infections. I mean, it doesn't look like it on the camera. 90% of the time it looks like bubbly or raring to go, but I can assure you I've suffered this year with these chest infections, and it's all because I work out in the cold and in the rain. I gets completely soaked. I'd be on my hands and knees picking the weeds up, and it'd be hammering it down with rain. Then I come into a warm house, and then 10 minutes later the nose starts, sinuses start, headaches, and I start to shiver and shake. And the doctor comes out. I mean, I'm on steroids and antibiotics. I've been on them for the last 14 years. I have to have them every single day. I take, I think it's 18 medications you have to take each day. Can be chest and other things, and so I've not been looking after myself. So that's the lesson learned this year. Is not when it rains, do nothing and just sit and watch it raining from inside the house where it's lovely and warm. So yeah, that's the second lesson learned. I don't know if that relates to the gardening, but it slows me down a lot. And anyway, the final one, this I'm sure this will strike a nerve with muddy boots, and that will be the mussel butter leeks. I never covered them this year again, 2 years on a trot, and I've lost them to the allium leaf miner. And it's funny when you think about it, because all it needed was to put the nets over, and I told people, I'm going to put the nets over this year. I promise you I'm going to put the nets over, and I didn't. And well, the first I knew about the allium leaf miner on the allotments was too late, because it had got to mine as well, and it turned them all to mush, same as muddy boots. And we both never put his debris netting over. We would have put them over, I think we would have been fine. So anyway, next year we'll try to remember to put the netting on. I mean, same thing with the strawberries. I come on one morning and all the jackdaws all had red noses. I thought, God, you should have put the net on them bloody strawberries, Mark. And what they did, they were coming down each morning early, and they pick all the red ones, and there was about 5 or 6 of these jackdaws, and they all had strawberries in the beaks, and they all looked like they had bloody red noses. That would have been a great video, that, for Red Nose Day, but hey ho. So yeah, it's putting the nets, when I say it, putting the nets on top of the veg, and perhaps we'll be able to have 1 or 2 of them. So next year it'll be a totally different thing. We're gonna definitely do what we preach. Anyway, I've got to nominate 3 of my friends, gardening friends off the YouTube, to continue the challenge, and I've got 3 fantastic people. Actually, there's 4, because the first one I'm going to nominate is Mike and Pauline from Potting Along. Now, Mike's he's not put a lot of videos up this year. Well, he's not put a lot of videos up in the last few months, because his job, what he's doing on is the secretary, and he's had to sort all the rents out, which is coming up very shortly. I'll tell you more about it. In fact, I can tell you a bit about that now. Yeah, the rents on here are 48 quid for a full plot, and if you've got a little lock up, it's an extra £5. At half a plot, I think it's about 30 quid the rent, and the rents are. He's doing the rents now, getting them all organised, and we don't pay until February, but he doesn't want to be faffing about at Christmas sending all the letters out. He wants to get everybody with the letters now, and then they can come. There's a couple of dates where the treasurer will be coming down for people who haven't got check. You can write a check, because normally I write a check out, my brother writes a check out. A lot of people write checks out, but not everyone's got checkbooks. So the secretary, the treasurer, Steve Ebel, coming down to collect the money, and me being chairman, I've got to go and tell everybody, spread the love, tell everybody it's rent time's approaching, so get your money ready. Anyway, so Mike and Pauline, they're the first ones from Potting Along. The second person I'm going to nominate is Jim from Jim's Allotments. This guy, what he doesn't know about gardening is not worth knowing. He knows everything. This guy's really good with his hands as well. He's a lot like me in many ways. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get good results, and I'm nominating Jim as well. The final person, he makes me laugh, and that's Tony from the Little Farmer's Farm. I've nominated him. Again, he's very handy with his hand. He's got a fantastic plot. He makes me laugh. He reminds me of a lot of Bluster Dave, or Blue Star Dave, or I like to call him Geordie Dave. The pair of them are very similar, and very, very, very entertaining. So they're the 3 who I'm nominating. I would have liked to have nominated Terry King from Allotment Garden, or like I say, Bluster Dave, Blue Star Dave. It's spelled BLUSTAR, Bluster Dave, Blue Star. I think the reason why he's got Bluster Dave, I think his band was called that. I'm not too sure, but I would have liked to have nominated him. I've also would have liked to have nominated Nigel or Sean, but Sean nominated me, so obviously he's done it. So anyway, they're the 3 who have I nominated this year for this challenge. So let's move on. What we've been doing while we've not been doing videos. Well, we've been getting stuck in on the back part, on the front part of the allotment. I managed to do 1 bed. I'm going to show you me doing that now from start to finish. Bit of music, speed it up in places. But what we've been doing basically, clearing the rhubarb, all of the weeds and everything out of the rhubarb bed. Top dressing it with rhubarb. So top dressing it with horse manure. So let me show you me doing that now. While I just have a swig of this, and I just poured half of it all over me. Well, I'm in the rhubarb bed at the moment, and I'm just clearing all the bits, all the rubbish around the edges, and making way for the daffodils and tulips and what should be coming up right along the boards. So I'm going to clear all this, then I'm going to get some horse manure and top dress this bed. But as you can see, it looks a bit of a mess in here at the moment, so we're going to have at it and get it done. So onwards and upwards. As you can see, this is the rhubarb bed. I was going to do the bed over there first, but this is the easiest one to do. So I'm just going to take all these leaves here which I've just scooped up and over there, and take them out, and I'm going to top dress this bed with some horse manure. We can do a load of pruning very shortly. I mean, the leaves are almost, well, they're not almost off. For some goddamn reason, this peach tree here is hanging in for dear life. It's still got all its leaves on. Yet you look round here, and you look at these trees along here, they've all lost the leaves, although it's been extremely strong wind. It's blowing like hell now. Look at that. We've got at least a 15 to 18 mile an hour southerly wind blowing, and it's biting. It said it's 6 degrees today, but in that wind it's more like -1. Oh, get it, keep it on the camera, keep it in the focus there. So as you can see, it's giving it some. But what I'm going to do now is just remove all these leaves and the bits and bobs, and then we'll top dress it with horse manure. If we take a closer look here, you can look down here, you can just start seeing these things coming through, and there's like three, 4 rows of them, and they're all coming up all the way along here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put a load of horse manure over the top of them, and they'll come through it. All these planters, they've all starting to, the spring bulbs are starting to come through as well. So I just tidy them up a bit as well while I'm doing this, but I'm going to have to be careful because I don't want to, where that apple is, that's where this, from the apple back to the fence, there's 3 rows of tulips and daffodils in there, and they're just starting to come up now, so I don't want to be walking on them to clean these pots, so it's going to be a bit of faffing about. But we'll come back once it's all clear. Like I said, there's another pile of weed stuff over there what needs to be put in a wheelbarrow. We'll tidy it up, show you what it looks like, then we'll put some horse manure on it. And so that's what we're going to do this morning. So here we are, it's very windy today. I've got my horse manure over there, and I'm just going to spread it around here. See these bottles here, this is where the rhubarb is, so it just gives me an idea where the rhubarb's going to be coming up. And I'm just going to cover everything because we've got loads of spring bulbs coming up there all the way along the board, so I'll cover it with that horse manure, and they'll come through. But we're going to top dress this bed now with some horse manure, and it's not bad stuff. I've got my spade here, so we're going to have at it. I'll show you me doing a bit of it, and then we'll show you when it's all done. Here's the first of the beds on the front part of the plot, which have been sorted out now. It's got a nice top dressing of horse manure, well rotted down horse manure. It's covering all the rhubarb. Around about February, March, we'll be picking rhubarb out of this bed, and you'll be seeing all along the borders, all along here, you'll be seeing tulips, daffodils, all along here, you'll be seeing tat-to-tat daffodils all along the front, all the way around. And well, you can just start to see them now in these planters. You've got tulips and daffodils in the planters all the way along here. Yeah, these apples I'm going to have to harvest again. This is what's fallen down in the bloody night. So it won't be too long. It'll be about another, I reckon about another week and a half, and then all the leaves will be off the trees and I'll be able to do a lot of pruning. You can see that tree there behind the plot is not got any leaves on it at all now. It's just down at the bottom. they'll be all fallen shortly, so there won't be any leaves on the trees. But yeah, this is the bed which is the easiest of the beds to do. So the next bed, we're going to flip now over to the strawberry bed. This bed's going to be left right until the very last, and everything's coming out of here except for the seeding, and I've got to tidy this bed up, so we'll come over onto this bed next. So anyway, this is what I'm doing, that's what I've done for today. As you can see, it's pretty windy, so we'll be back tomorrow and we'll address that other bed over there, and maybe that planter as well. There's a planter here what needs, so everything needs cutting off, cutting right back. So we'll do that, we'll take all that out of there as well. As you can see, the crocuses are starting to come up now in the planters, so these all need to be taken down as well, because there's a lot of crocuses in here. So yep, lots to do. Anyway, I'm going to put my tools away. Like I say, keep your tools clean, guys, and they'll last you for years, in some cases up 50 years. So there's a rhubarb bed all done and dusted. I really should have done the strawberry bed first, and then I might have been able to show you me putting the runners into the pots, showing you the mix and everything. But no, we got the rhubarb. I've still got the rhubarb at the very back of the allotments to put some horse manure on as well. By the end of February, start of March, we'll be picking that rhubarb. Rhubarb loves horse manure, and it really does. There's nothing better to put on your rhubarb. You get a lot of the old timers would now lift the rhubarb and leave it just sat on the surface over winter and then bury it come spring, but no need to do that. Get cracking results. Just leaving it in the ground, just cover it with horse manure and you're good to go. So that was one bed we've actually completed. I think there's 5 or 6 beds left to go. So we started to clear the strawberry bed away, and well, I've got a little clip here showing you me clearing, taking the gladiolas, the tops off the gladiolas. I've got a little clip just show you how easy it is to do it once they've all died back. So let me show you me doing that. All what will be left in that bed then will be the strawberries and the runners, and what we're going to do with that I'll explain after showing you. So the job for today is to take all these gladiolas and the zinnias out and all the weeds out. There won't be much left in this strawberry bed. A few strawberries, all the leaves have all died back as well. We'll take the dead leaves out, and there's a lot of runners in there, so we'll leave the runners in, and then what I'll do is I'll take the runners out and put them into pots, and there won't be much left in this bed after we've done all this. Maybe a few strawberries, but everything's coming out. We've got an easterly wind blowing there by looking at the flag, and just look up there, that cloud there, it's racing by. It's moving pretty fast, that is. All the leaves off the trees now. It can be very lonely on the allotments at times. I think I'm the only person on at the moment. Look at that, they're flying past. Anyway, there's the last look at the flag. I'll zoom in, and this is what we're going to be doing. And it's straightforward. I'll show you me doing lifting a few of them out, and I'll show you the bed when it's all been completed. So I'm going to set the camera up on the pod here, and I'll just show you how easy it is to take all these gladiolas out. We leave the gladiola bulbs in, but the tops come out, and I'll show you in a second. Just going to set the gladiolas, and it's just simple. They just pull out these because they're all died back, and you know, that's all you do. The bulbs remain in the ground, and we'll tidy all this lot up. There we go. That's how easy it is. So there are all the tops off the gladiolas. We'll stick them in the bucket at the side of us, and now I've got to go and do the whole lot. There's quite a lot of them, and knowing my luck, it's going to start raining before we complete this. So we'll come back when it's all done. Yeah, that's a zinnia. Just shake the soil off it. Zinnias just lift out. Give them a shake. There we go. We'll just take them completely out. So we've got a lot to do, so I'm going to crack on. These are all strawberries, by the way, so we will be coming back to these strawberries and thinning them out. Took the last of the zinnias and the gladiola tops out of this bed. The gladiolas are staying in. Everything else is coming out. All the strawberries are coming out as well. However, we're taking the runners, and we're going to take 40 of the runners and put them into the greenhouse in pots. We'll bring them up in the greenhouse, and later on, come spring, we'll bring them out and put them back into the bed. So the only thing that's going to be left in here are these red currant trees. They've been grafted onto tree stock, these bushes, and there's another 3 red currant just below them. So we might leave them in for now, and we might end up taking these trees out and just leaving the red currants in. I've not decided which ones to keep yet. That's why you see 2 different types of red currants. As for all the strawberries, we're taking all the strawberries out. We'll collect the runners, we'll put them into the greenhouse, and then this bed will be clear until come spring. Then we'll put all the strawberries back in. So what you see here are the pots I'm going to be putting the strawberry runners in. The only trouble is I was just going to do it and then it started to rain, so that's had to be put on hold for the time being. However, there's 36 pots there. I've got a few more in it. What we'll probably do is remove the riddle and the plant, the water trays, and then we can put a few more in there, because I did say we want 40, so that's what I'm going to put in. Look, you see some lemon balm there, and just behind it is some aloe vera. I'll move them out of the way as well. But yeah, we're just about to start Operation Transplant the runners, and it started to bloody rain. So anyway, everything's on pause for the time being, but as you see, we've got the pots ready. We'll be back, I'll show you me doing a few of these eventually. So I've got to go and find 40 of them in that bed, and believe me, there's quite a few of them in there, so I've got quite a lot to choose from. But yeah, as you can see, there my pots all ready to rock and roll. There's my compost ready to rock and roll just behind there. So we've got everything in place. It's just the bloody weather. Don't know if you can hear it, it's in the greenhouse. So you see me taking the tops off the gladiolas. They just snap off. They just leave them in the ground. They'll come good next year. I say with my dahlias, you just take the tops off them. They'll come good later on in the next year, and they've done it every year for the last 3 or 4. So why won't they do it again? There's no reason for it. As long as you've done it the way I've just shown you, the way I take the tops off. The zinnias we just pulled out. Anyway, we was gonna take the runners, put them into pots. I've got the mix here inside the greenhouse. In fact, let me show you the mix, what I've got together. I'll show you the pots that I'm going to do them in. So have a look at this. We've got some water to mix as compost and as horse manure up. We thought we had the right bucket. We haven't. This one's got holes in the bottom of it, unfortunately, so I need to get another bucket, which won't take me 2 minutes. We've got horse manure here, a couple of 30-litre buckets of horse manure. This is the clover multi-purpose compost that we're going to be using. Load of that there. And these are the pots that we're going to be using to put the strawberry runners in. So I'm going to be mixing 40% of that to 60% of that in a bucket similar to that with a load of water. We make the sludder. Then I go and get a few runners and we'll start to put them on. So that's what we're doing anyway. So I'm going to get myself another one of these watering cans, and we'll be another one of these buckets or something similar, maybe a bit bigger, I haven't decided yet, and then we can have at it. So as you see there, we've got all the horse manure, we've got the compost here, we've got the water. Well, it's frozen in the watering cans, but what we do, we mix. It's a 30-70 mix. We mix 30% of horse manure, 70% of compost, water until it gets all slushy like mud pies, and then what we do, we get the runners, some in the pot, plant them straight into it, stick them on the shelf. Just keep an eye on them. You don't have to water them because the water's there. Just when they do start to dry out, give them a quick water, and they will pick up in the greenhouse. The only trouble is, we come down this morning, and this is what we come down to.
Well, we've arrived on the allotments this morning to do the strawberry runners. We've got to take them out, and we're going to put them into pots, or we were going to put them into pots. As you can see, everywhere's frozen. The state of that, like a winter wonderland on here. But yeah, the frost is really, look at that bucket frozen. That means my chicken's water's frozen. Everywhere's going to be frozen solid. So like I said, I've just come on to put some water in really. There's nothing I can do where it comes to doing the strawberries. In fact, I'll show you the strawberries before we even do anything. But yeah, it's a winter wonderland. Oh, the joy. Everywhere's frozen solid. Ooh, little robin there. Well, that's well and truly frozen, that. Oh, little wren just flew past there. You hear it mate tweeting. Actually, there's someone crazy bugger on. Looks like it's Dave at the top of the allotments. He's on. He only lives round the corner. Well, this is my plot. Here we go. All the leaves are off the trees now. I really do need to pick them all up, and the apples, what's the rest of the apples, but I need to take all these as well, to cut all of the tops off. I've done one bed, the rhubarb, on the front part of the plot, but yeah, this is where we're supposed to be working today. You know, we've had rain for the last fortnight. 3 to 4 weeks, constantly raining. As I've shown you, we've done that bed over there, but well, this is where the strawberries are, and as you can see, it's frozen solid. Everywhere frozen, all the way down. I did start to work on this bed here, just started to pull these gladiolas tops off, but yeah, we cleared this bed out up to the point where we were just going to take the runners, and so we will get a couple of days where it's warmer. In fact, we've got cloud up there now. If we get sunshine during the day and cloud at night, we will be able to take the runners out of here because the temperatures will keep up, but everywhere's frozen. Them buckets are frozen. That means my chickens' water's frozen, so I've got to go and take care of that. In fact, there they are. Come to greet me. Water feeders right to the top. In fact, no, it's alright. Well, that's okay. My water, that's because I put glycerin in the water. Hey girls, hello, what are you doing? I see. Glycerin in the water works a treat. So, I no need to worry about my girls. Can hear a little wren there, but look at these here. This is where the elephant garlic's gone in. And look at that, how it's all crystallised, the soil. Absolutely incredible.
So we come down to a winter wonderland, didn't we? Absolute shocker. I had the feeling it was going to be freezing. It was going to freeze over to last night, and it did. Watering cans, water butts, all frozen. The ground, it was all crystallised. It wasn't. I mean, it's perfect conditions for the garlic. And speaking of the garlic, this is what the garlic looks like at the moment.
Well, guys, it's been a week. And as you can see, the garlic's all starting to come up now. Everywhere I can see it, just breaking through in some places, but I'd say 99% of it is up already. And just in time, because let me show you, This is why. As you can see, the frost here, it's all crystallised, and yeah, the garlic obviously there's nothing in this bed, but as you can see, it's all breaking. It breaks the salt. Really could do with turning this over and just leaving it lumpy, but the trouble is, if I was to stick a shovel in it, it'd just fall to pieces anyway because it's good soil, so I don't need to do that. I might cover this bed for now, and that bed. The leaves have finally fallen off the apple trees there. There's a few apples left on there. I've got to pick all them up as well again. But yeah, the frost is doing the business, and there's the garlic.
So 98% of that garlic we put in about a week and a half ago is all up. The other 2% will follow, probably put them in a little bit deeper. When I was burying them up to my thumb, you know, thumb right down at the ground, drop the bulb in and cover them. And it took them about a week and a half to get to that big, so imagine what they're going to be like in a few months' time. And this is the perfect time as well. We just timed it. That's the best timing I've ever done with the garlic, actually. And it's frozen, and the ground will, the cloves will freeze, and they'll start to split, and that's where you get your cloves later on in next year. So we got really lucky there. The elephant garlic, the elephant garlic I planted twice as deep, so that's going to take a lot longer for them to come up. But when they come up, I'll show them you. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. I've got a couple of videos in the pipeline. Obviously, the 12-month review sort of thing, showing you what the plot looked like over the 12 month, each month. That's coming up. Someone asked me about me when am I going to put your coin collection up, Matt? Well, I'm trying to find all the coins. I've got every coin pre-decimal up to about 1900 up to present date. I've got every one of them. It don't matter what it is, I've got it. I mean, I've collected coins 50 years from about, I think it'd be about 7 or 8 when I started to collect them, and I've got silver, gold, you name it. I collect a lot, but it's all got to be British coins. I do collect American coins. I've got a few $half, a few silver pieces, Canadian silver pieces as well. But we're not showing you them. What I'm trying to do is show you the coins what you find actually in your pocket, like the £2 coins, the 50p's, the 10p's, the 20p's. I mean, you could potentially have a fortune in your pocket. So I'm trying to find all these coins and put them together. The problem is I've got them scattered out of, I mean, I've got boxes like this deep, this wide, the open, you know, literally thousands of coins, and I've got about 15-20 of them boxes. I'll show you some of them. But what I'm looking for are all the coins what are out in circulation now. I mean, there's one in particular I'm a bit worried really, because I don't know where to put it, and it's nearly £1,000 for a 50p. It's what it is. It's an aquatics. Back in 2000 I think it was 12. I think the Olympics at the time, they made a series of coins. They made 29 coins plus the collector's coin, but they made 2 other coins. The very first coin was a Blue Peter coin. I've been looking for that one as well. And what it is, it's gymnastics, that one, and it's in a little packet. Now that was the very first coin, but it was made a year earlier. They made 20,000 of them, but they only sold a few thousand of these coins. And then what the Roman did was get all these coins and destroy them. So the price went from like a tenner, and it went up, and you can't get one of these for less than 130 to 160 quid. And I'm trying to find all these coins to show them you. The aquatics was another one. It's a swimmer. and there's lines across the face one and ones with no lines across the face. Now I've got them both, and I'm a bit concerned because I don't know where the one with the line across the face is. I know I've got it. However, that's probably the rarest of all the 50p's. That's about 900 quid for that coin, the one with the lines across the face. However, the one without the lines, you can pick it up in your £5. But then again, you find all these coins in your change. So, and then you got your £2 coins and your 10 pences and all this like, and your 20p's. There's a coin out there in circulation. You want to check. I'll tell you this one now. You want to check it. If it hasn't got a date on it, it's a mule 20. It's a mule 20p, what they call no date coin. You can't pick them up for less than 45 quid now, and they're going higher and higher and higher because they're becoming more and more scarce. The Royal Mint did a daft thing earlier when they was making them. When they changed over from one pattern to the other, they put the pattern without the date on one side, and again the pattern of the other coin without the date on the other, and then they shoved them out into circulation by mistake, and they realised the mistake, and by then it was too late because there was thousands of them in circulation. But they are so rare. They're rarer than the Kew Gardens, I would think, but well, I don't know about that. But again, I've got all of them, and I'm going to show them you all. They will be coming up shortly, so hang on a bit until I find them all, and then I'll surprise you. But yeah, that's what we've been doing this week. Like the challenge has gone up to Pauline, Mike, Jim, and Tony for the 10 things I've learnt this year challenge. And like I said, we'll get back here as soon as I can, and as soon as it starts to thaw out, and I'll show you what I'm doing with my strawberries. They'll be left in the greenhouse over the winter. That'll help them no end. So anyway, with that, I'm going to get going because my feet have gone cold now through talking. I've got a couple of dozen eggs there. Thank you, chickens. And I've just checked on them, by the way. The water's holding out. I put some glycerin in the water. It works up to about -5. It started to crystallise a little bit when I went in this morning, but it's fine. After -6 it will freeze, but the glycerin will keep the water from freezing. You only have to put probably about eight drops, a spoonful, into your water, and give it a good swishing round. It just stops the ice crystals from forming on the water. Bloody hell. And it's a great trick to get you through the winter, so you're not having to come down every day and change the water, the brick of ice into and putting water in. It does the chickens no harm whatsoever. Anyway, that's it. We've talked long and hard and long enough. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I say, you just got to start wrapping up. It's getting very cold here in Manchester. I think it'll get colder before it gets warmer. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm going to buy myself a nice little birthday present. I've saw a coin that I fancy. I'm going to treat myself. Yep, it's my birthday. Not today. I've got a couple of days yet. 5th of December. Actually, what is it? I think it's the 2nd or 8th, 3rd today. So I've got a couple of days yet. So anyway, with that, thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye for now.